Hello, today we're going to talk about GST and more specifically GST registration in Singapore, especially for people coming from Hong Kong. This is quite new, although people from Australia or the UK, etc., will be much more familiar with at least the concepts of it. So what is it? Well, GST is goods and savings tax. Essentially, it is 7% that's put on certain supplies or either services or supplies, such as stationery, food, etc. It's on most things. There are some exemptions. And importantly, it can actually also include imports into Singapore as well. So this can be put onto an import. It's compulsory to register if your turnover exceeds 1 million Singapore dollars in the prior calendar year, or indeed if your forecast calendar year is going to exceed Singapore $1 million. There's a 30-day deadline to register, and the penalties are actually quite significant. So they're around 10,000 Singapore dollars plus 10% of the GST due itself. If you do find yourself needing to register and you're late, if you disclose this yourself and you contact IRAS, then the likelihood is that those penalties could be reduced. You have to supply a forecast if you are voluntarily registering. It's possible to do so. It does require extra steps. You have to maintain it for 2 years. So you can't voluntarily register 1 year and then deregister the next. And I think the most important thing is to consider the impact on your actual pricing. So as soon as you register for GST, your prices go up by 7%. Now, if your customers are also registered for GST, then they can claim that back. But if they're not, if they're, say, individuals, if you're a gym, for example, then they can't claim that back. So their real cost is 7% higher. How to register? Well, use your court pass or have your accountant use their court pass on the MyTax portal. It does require some supporting documents such as the ACRA profile. And when they review it, they may ask for further documents. Eventually, you'll get an approval letter, generally within a couple of weeks, and that will contain the date that you need to charge GST from. That's important to know, as obviously you need to change all of your invoices, your billing rates, your prices, etc. Filing dates, well, the GST return and payment are due 1 month after the end of the accounting period covered by the return. You can file a nil return if there's no business activity during the accounting periods. That's very similar to the UK. Non-filing or late filing includes a smaller penalty than non-registration, so about 200 Singapore dollars, but it's plus 5% of what's due. Often, summonses are issued for non-filing or late filing of your GST return. And there we've got a little table that just extends the date of these. Please note that the first quarter has an extended filing and payment due date, which you can apply for. This is generally because people are doing their year-end tax processing, so IRS have recognized it may take a bit longer to get other items done. That's it. It's a simple process. If you're thinking of voluntary registration, look at the costs, the GST that you could reclaim from IRS and weigh that up against the price increases that you'll have. It's important to maintain a detailed calendar of all the deadlines, and ultimately we find that people tend to get their accountants to do this work to make sure it's done and it's done right. Thank you very much.